This episode of the Party Loaded podcast is proudly sponsored by Audible.com. Check out their awesome catalogue of audiobooks with over 180,000 titles to choose from. And be sure to grab a free audiobook on us and support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/endgame.
Let's party.
Hello and welcome back to Party Loaded. This is Party Loaded episode 44 for Wednesday the 21st of September. My name is Luke Ritalik and we have three others here as always. Now I'm going to rattle these off in no particular order. We have whose birthday is also not today. We have Jam. Hello.
Hello, it is my unbirthday.
It's your unbirthday. Very happy unbirthday to you, Jam. Very happy unbirthday.
Thank you. Happy unbirthday to you too.
Well, thank you. I do like to celebrate a good unbirthday. It's
I'm going to break into song at any moment.
Please don't.
Well, technically, we also have Imogen, whose unbirthday is today too.
It's my unbirthday as well. What a coincidence.
But only because your birthday was yesterday. So happy birthday to yesterday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You did have a fairly special day, a fairly spectacular day,
awesome day.
And a day of which the repercussions will be felt for a while, I'm sure. But
I'm sure.
More on that in future.
That sounded so fucking ominous.
Yeah,
Jesus
it did, yeah.
Christ.
It's exciting and a really good thing, and we can talk about it soon. But it's super exciting.
Everyone will be
had
like, is Imogen
the
pregnant?
best birthday ever. No. Jeez, that's not exciting.
No.
Imogen child hater.
That's a different kind of unwrapping.
It's your new D&D name.
But the person whose birthday it actually is today is Olly. Happy birthday,
Hello.
champ. How's it going?
I'm an older man.
You're an older man.
That was confetti.
All right, well, Imogen, if you're prepared to break out into song, I think we all should.
No, for the fucking love of God.
Happy birthday
No, I will drop you from the call.
you.
I will drop the call.
I'm still not well enough for this. Anyway. All right, cool. Oh, God. All right, anyway, so it's been a week, guys. It's been a pretty solid week. Pretty solid week for the most part of Snot
Been
Factory.
definite 7 days.
Yep.
Full 7 days, yeah.
I think despite the fact that we had our big sort of Sick People Week episode last week, we kind of continued on that theme for a number of days yet after we got that one out. So I think...
Little did we know.
Oh, God, it was set to continue for a while. I mean, Jam and I were still on death's door for at least another 4 days after that, and I think we're only just getting over things now. Imogen, you're a little more well, and Ollie, you've skated through like nobody's business.
Because I gave it to all you.
Yeah.
Suckers.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. You've also got a metabolism that runs faster than friggin' Lance Armstrong or something. I don't know what's going on with that.
It's pretty good.
Lance Armstrong runs fast? I thought he cycled
No,
fast.
because Luke's an idiot.
Sports.
I would have gone with Usain Bolt.
No.
But it's good sport.
My sports team, they sported better than the other team. Yeah, Luke's a heathen. It's all right.
Sorry, I shouldn't have
We
mentioned Lance Armstrong
Wow.
because
Fucking learnt a word, man.
just like him, I am also not on the ball. Anyway, moving on.
My God.
Imogen, let's start with you. So, chronologically, you had your birthday yesterday. Did you get up to anything fun over the weekend or on the night itself? What did you actually do?
Yeah, I went out with some friends on Saturday night, which was really good, which meant that I think I got better because I willed myself to be that better because I had it all planned for a long time that I didn't want to be sick. And I still wasn't 100%, but the little cough niggling around. But no, it was really good. And I had a really nice day yesterday. Found out that my last unit I passed with flying colours for my study. So
Congratulations.
going into an exam tomorrow, not so bad. Not so bad.
Nice. Always fun. Good to find out that you did something that paid off when you...
Yeah.
Yeah, when it actually matters. It's good.
Nothing worse than struggling through study if you have to then repeat doing exactly the same thing again. That would be the end of me.
That is kind of terrible, yeah. Nice. And Ollie, has anyone spoiled you silly today, or is that something that's going to be deferred to the weekend?
No, I've been pretty spoiled today. Yeah. It was good. Peeps at work spoiled me, and then family spoiled me, and then I'll get spoiled tomorrow as well. It'll be great.
And thus the
and then
tradition
I
of
have
the
to do
week-long
a
birthdays
fucking
continues.
podcast.
Nice.
Ruin it all.
Yes, well, you are in fact present, so that is one
Yes,
form
that's
of
true.
your birthday present, which is fine. So, yeah, Jam, we can wait till another part of the year to do that. Seems fine. These two can hog this week. I'm okay with that. I'm just happy to be
We'll
well,
allow them
frankly.
1 week.
Yeah, we
exactly.
should definitely have like birthday themed D&D on Friday, I think.
Yes,
That's in order.
Yes.
I'll
Well,
bring cake, although I'm not. Yeah, the cake's
I'll bring
difficult
Krispy
right
Kremes. They're like mini cakes.
now. Okay.
I'm hosting, so I'm okay with both of these things. It sounds good. Nice. All right. Well, aside from birthdays, we've been playing some games as well, and there's a couple of interesting things on the list. So I was going to jump in first, but I'm actually keen to hear from Ollie because you've been playing something
What?
that it's not a new game, but one that we haven't seen sort of pop up for a little while. So what's been going on?
I played a game called Rust, which is great fun. And for those of you that have no fucking idea what Rust is,
That's me.
Yeah. Imagine, if you will, post-apocalyptic Minecraft that's first person with actual graphics, not just pixely things. That's a little bit more involved. Like, actually, are you familiar with any of the Armor games at all?
No.
Like what DayZ is
Okay.
based on images?
Yeah. So
Oh,
imagine
okay. Yep.
Armor meets Minecraft. That's actually the best description I can give it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good.
And you run around naked, unless you make clothes. So I ran around naked for 3 hours. It was great.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember a little bit of stuff from this game not too long ago, Rust is now set up so that when you spawn in the game for the first time, you have an appearance and gender that is completely random and you can't select. Is that true?
Correct.
Yeah.
It
Yep,
was great.
I was a guy with an
I had
enormous dog.
dangly bits. I did put pixelation on, though, after like the first half hour of seeing naked people. I'm like, I don't need to see that, actually. That was funny for the first 30 seconds. So yeah, it is very brutal. It is not a... The learning curve can be quite steep, but it is very, very fun. I think I prefer it to Minecraft, but we'll wait and see.
Okay. So
I enjoyed it.
what's the sort of resource angle of the game like? I mean, you sort of forage around for basic tools and kill creatures for bits, I'm assuming? But how does the rest of
Yep.
it work?
So you kill living things for food, you dig up rocks, you chop down trees. I'm getting very musical there.
I was going to say, you're going to break into song. This is the
you
musical episode.
Get metally bits, you dig them up, you smelt them down, you make metal stuff. You find like artifacts, which are like technology and stuff in barrels and crates, or there might be an airdrop. Or you visit a thing called a monument where those things spawn and you can pick up various bits and pieces. So yes, it's very interesting. You go from having like you start with a rock, like literally just you can club people to death with a rock. You go from a rock and then you might be like, I'll have a stone axe or a stone pickaxe and a bow. I've got a crossbow now. And then someone guns you down with a fully automatic rifle and you're like, well, that's not fair.
Nice. And how common are those sorts of things in the game? Do you find
Not
them or did you...
overly.
Okay, so you obviously don't craft autos. You
eventually can.
Oh, really?
Eventually can. So
Interesting.
there's a level up mechanic which staggers what you can craft. So unlike Minecraft, you can't just craft everything in one go. There are level requirements and you unlock items with the XP that you get.
Right, okay. So it sounds a little bit more like the enchanting aspect of Minecraft where you need to spend levels to do that.
Yeah, mix enchanting with crafting and that's basically the system.
Okay, interesting. Sounds kind of cool. Is it hella brutal in terms of the other players' motivations being sort of incentivized to do you harm? Or is
2
it...
arrows kill you if you're not in armor.
Right,
Oh,
okay.
gosh.
And you fall to the ground screaming in agony and then they will walk up and hit you in the face with a rock.
But people are incentivized to sort of come after you as opposed to play friendly, are they? It's like...
It depends on the server.
Right.
It genuinely depends on the server. Some servers are like, please be friendly in these zones, go nuts elsewhere. Others are just like, no holds barred, just do whatever you want. There is a in-game voice chat, which is actually really useful. Like, it's actually a localized, so the louder you go, the louder your voice projects in-game, that sort of thing.
Is that how DayZ works as well?
Yes.
Yep.
So it works relatively okay. It's quite satisfying yelling at someone when you're clubbing them to death after you shoot them in the face with a crossbow. I'm not going to lie. They deserved it.
dear.
They shot first. It's not my fault they suck.
So you could literally be clubbing someone to death and the whole time going, "Ooga, ooga, booga, booga, ooga, booga, booga," just smashing them. That would be
Yep.
hilarious.
And the best part is when they get wounded, they fall down screaming. And so your point of view is locked on the floor, and you just watch someone just stand over you. It's great.
That sounds crazy.
This doesn't sound fun.
It's incredibly fun.
Yeah, Rust is one that has intrigued me a lot, actually. I might have to check it out at some point. That does sound kind of cool. Yeah.
I do want to play it with friends because playing it by yourself can be slightly harrowing.
Well, can you actually have any sort of agency over where you spawn and find other players, or are you all sort of rocking around?
If you make a sleeping bag, yes, you spawn at your sleeping bag. If not, random. Have fun.
Interesting. Very cool.
Oh, God.
Interesting. Well, maybe we'll have
most
to
people are friendly.
give that a go at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I got to play something today that was kind of fun, and I do say kinda because it's kind of shit still. So I played through episode 2 of the Telltale Batman game, and had a really interesting time. It was not, let's say, the smoothest experience, and when I say that, I am kind of overstating the good aspect a little and understating the fact that it's still running like
Okay.
dog shit.
One question.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to ask. Is it because it's running like shit or because it's made like shit? And
Okay.
you just said it was running like shit.
This is my love-hate relationship with this game because I really enjoy the way they're taking the story and the character development aspects of it, and it is a different spin on several well-known Batman characters in a way that I've not seen done before. And I enjoy that aspect of it. I enjoy the combat. I enjoy the detective sort of investigative sort of aspects of the game. But when it's running at 5 FPS, you just can't overlook that.
Yeah. That's
It's
unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean,
dear.
it's broken up into, I think there's about 4 or 5 different segments of this episode, like there typically is with a lot of the Telltale games. And for at least 3 of those, it just didn't run well at all. And it was really jarring and really painful. And when you're in the middle of a fight scene in particular and you can't react at the speed that you need to be able to, it's painful as hell. But that being said, the 2 segments that actually did run smoothly were awesome. Really enjoyed them. I just wish it was not the minority as far as that amount of time spent in game goes. So, they've had a whole episode now to deal with some of these issues for PC players, and it does seem to be PC only. I don't see a lot of the feedback around frame rate issues and gameplay choppiness on any of the other versions, and it does seem to be a fairly isolated thing on PC too. It's not everybody that's being impacted by it, but when you're one of the people that is being impacted by it, it's a crap experience, and I kind of have to say what I'm experiencing, so yeah. I mean, I must admit I was torn today as I started episode 2 and sort of saw it happening again, and I was like, oh god damn it, they haven't fixed it. I was torn. I was actually very tempted to go the refund route and then try and pick it up on a different device, but I still haven't done that. And I don't know why I haven't done that because I really should at this point, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, so I'll focus on the story stuff now without doing anything spoilery. There was a couple of things that they did this episode which is starting to fulfill some of the early promises of what they were going to do with this series. The one in particular being that there was finally a moment where you have to choose whether you're going to tackle a particular problem as Batman or as Bruce Wayne. And the way that it plays out, depending on which choice you make, could potentially be quite different. So the issue in particular is a conversation you have to have with the mayor. And I won't say what the conversation's about or how it sort of goes down, but you can imagine how it may potentially go down if Batman's getting involved. So, and I think there's a long-running history with the mayor of Gotham not being necessarily as righteous and upholding a citizen as they possibly should be. So you can read into that what you will. But the thing that is continuing to be really interesting with this story is that the take on Penguin is really different. So Penguin's a really young guy, more of a sort of British mobster, kind of like I don't know, he reminds me a little bit of Junkrat, actually, if I'm being honest. Like he's kind of his mannerisms and obviously not, the Aussiness of Junkrat, but, his kind of general craziness is a bit more Jokerish, actually, than Penguinish from what Oswald Cobblepot to be in a lot of the other Batman stories. But this episode was called Children of Arkham, and it's sort of dealing with a new faction that Penguin's affiliated with. You don't find out much about them because they only kind of get mentioned a couple of times and then sort of show up right at the end. But it's a very interesting take on some of the back history of Arkham Asylum and they've sort of painted the Wayne family, Thomas and Martha in particular, as being a lot more involved in organised crime than perhaps they have been in most of the other Batman stories. So that's intriguing too. So there you go. Story so far pretty good. This episode was slightly shorter than the last one, so we'll see how episode 3 shapes up. And whether I play that on PC or tablet, I yet to decide, but I might switch over to tablet for that one, I think, given how things are going. So there you go.
Doesn't sound great on PC.
No.
It's just unfortunate.
It's a shame. I do like the controls on PC, though, because, I mean, when you're playing a lot of the Telltale games on iPad, you kind of have to, tap and swipe and do a lot of stuff really quickly, by tapping different parts of the screen. On computer, you kind of have to use Q and E a lot more because you're doing movement with the WASD sort of keys, but Q and E are kind of like your utility buttons to sort of punch and block and interact with objects and that kind of thing. And I really do like that sort of type of control, and I'd prefer to use that, but not at the expense of the rest of the choppiness. So, yeah, there you go. Anyone been doing any more legioning this week? How's progress on that, ladies? You've put any more time in?
Yeah, it's not been bad. I've kind of got to a stage now where I'm in a bit of trouble in that I don't have very many order hall resources left. So when I'm not having time in game, I've been using the companion app to set tasks for my followers, and now I'm in a situation where I don't have enough resources to send them out.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of an issue. So I spent actually some time before we started recording today just going and doing sort of bonus objective quests to get some more order hall resources just so I can have one more day of sending some followers out. So
yeah,
I'm going to have to put a lot of effort into that. But I'm just about to hit 110. So
nice.
Nearly at
what's the
top
cap?
end. 110.
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go then.
I'm about half a level off now.
Yeah.
Getting there.
I hit 110 a few days back, and I will say that in terms of the order hall resources, Imogen, that problem solves itself very quickly thereafter.
Good.
Because as soon as you hit 110, one of the things you can open up is the ability to do world quests, which is
hearing
kind
so much about this.
Yeah, world quests are awesome. I underestimated how much of a end game component they were going to be. Turns out they are massive. So basically what it is as soon as you hit 110, and there's 5 main factions across the game in Legion, which as you sort of progress through the main story content, you sort of build up your reputation with those factions, and you go from friendly through to honoured to revered, and that sort of unlocks different perks you can get with them. As soon as you've gotten at least friendly level with those 5 factions, and I'm pretty sure friendly is the base level of rep advancement, which means that you've done like a small amount of content in each of those zones. As soon as you hit that with all 5 of them, you open up world quests at level 110.
Oh, I'm so far away from that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm only just now going to Stormheim because Jam and I have been sort of trying to finish areas before we move on to next.
And do the whole lot. Yeah, I was the same.
I'm still in Stormheim. I haven't done. I've got the initial quest for the other area that I always forget the name of that begins with A.
As Shah?
And I'm nowhere near Suramar. Yeah, I'm nowhere near Suramar. So, so that'll be fun. So I'm going to hit 110 and have to do some serious sort of rep leveling, it sounds like.
Well, what I suggest you do is just get to friendly with all of those areas and then continue the way you're going, sort of, knocking one off completely at a time. Because as soon as you've got friendly level, as you're going through those different zones, you'll be able to do world quests at the same time, and that will really sort out the order hall resources problem.
That's a good tip.
Yep.
Good tip.
Yeah. You don't sort of muck up the story by doing it like that. You kind of, you only have to do a little bit to get to that point with all of them. So, but when you can get those world quests open, all of a sudden you're picking up really good gear, you're picking up stacks of water hall resources, your cash flow problem's not as much of an issue too, because there's some pretty hefty gold gains throughout a lot of them too. And basically what they are is they're basically missions that you have done throughout each of those zones already, or some of them maybe you haven't done yet. And they've kind of been, I guess, reactivated for the purposes of doing it as like a daily event.
Yeah, Jam, remember the one where we were a little wisp? And we had to avoid the fish and plant the trees. That's one.
Aww.
I was so excited. I was like, that was a fun one. I liked that one.
Well, what it is changes each day as well. So every day, like a new set of them sort of goes active, if you like, and some of them will disappear depending on whether you've done them or not. So, which is kind of cool. And every zone has a whole bunch of them active at any one particular time. And there's usually 3 sort of overarching benefits that are active on any one given day, and they sort of cycle through. So one of them will drop off each day and another one will pop up. And each of those benefits can usually be unlocked by completing 4 world quests in that category. So, for example, if you're up in Stormheim, you might need to complete 4 Stormheim world quests, and then you get like the overall Stormheim bonus. If Stormheim happens to be the one that's active at that time. Or maybe there's a particular faction like the Wardens, which you have to do 4 quests aligned to them, and it'll actually say under the quest whether it is or not. And then if you do that, then you get another big bonus, and that huge bonus could be a really high level of piece of gear. It could be like a special item, could be like a huge gold boost or something like that. It changes depending on what it is. But I'm finding the game's really opening up quite a bit with the world quests. It's giving me a lot to do, essentially. Not like there wasn't a lot to do already, because there's stacks to do in this game. Even when you hit max level, there's still ridiculous amounts of content. And especially when it comes to, finishing off your Order Hall campaign and continuing to advance the different things that you can do there. There's no shortage of things to keep your entertainment, that's for sure. But this just adds some really good ways to continue getting ahead. I think you start to feel the progress coming in leaps and bounds when you unlock the world quests, as opposed to grinding a little bit beforehand, like for your order resources and things like that. So it's something to look forward to. There you go.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, I think it's also going to be a good thing for us to all do as a group, because some of those world quests you'll knock off pretty quickly when you've got a few people moseying around together, which is going to be handy. So yeah. All right, well, let's move on to a very, very small list of gaming news of the week. We don't have a whole bunch to talk about this week. After last week's hive of activity, we've only got a little bit of stuff going on. So it seems like possibly the calm before the storm. A couple of Pokemon-related items. We've got Pokemon Go Plus, which launched this last week. So this is the peripheral device that actually works with Pokemon Go. So people might remember this being like a little sort of clip-on or a wearable sort of button that sort of works with the game and allows you to sort of capture Pokemon without having to load up the app on your phone. Has been the subject of quite a bit of divisive conversation and ridicule, if we're being honest. There's a lot of people sort of saying, yeah, you can buy this thing so you don't have to play the game, which is kind of true to a certain extent.
It is, yeah.
But there's been a mad rush on people sort of going out to buy it, sold out a whole bunch of different places. It's been a pretty, much a chase item. But apparently anyone who has an Android phone may not have actually been having a good time with the launch of it, because there's some big compatibility issues with the Bluetooth link up with the Androids. Reports are coming in from a lot of sources on Reddit in particular, saying that Android users have, had widespread reports of the Bluetooth sort of syncing up, and then about 5 minutes later, all of a sudden you get the red light of death and it sort of desyncs. So for anyone who's put a whole bunch of effort into trying to hunt one of them down and finally gets one and then can't use it properly, that would be a bit of a downer. So yeah,
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, not much you can do about that. I think they might sort out the issues as further updates and patches happen, but I guess it's just one of those things. Pokemon Bank, though, has also been in the news this week. Now, for those of you who don't remember, this is the 3DS piece of software that works with the current main Pokemon titles, enabling you to sort of keep an online bank of all of your Pokemon sort of between different games. Currently works with the most recent titles like Pokemon X and Y, works with Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 with the use of an additional sort of app which works on your 3DS. And, of course, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire work with it as well. It's getting a massive update coming in January, and the update's going to be kind of partly in line with sort of Pokemon Sun and Moon coming out. Now, Pokemon Sun and Moon are out in November. The big update's coming in January, so there's a bit of a gap there, so you won't be able to use Pokemon Bank with the new titles immediately, which is a little bit annoying. But on the plus side, this update is going to be pretty massive. So one of the features of the Pokemon Bank is it enables you to basically, keep your Pokemon across all of the games in it, but it can be kind of hard to sort of manage because it requires you to sort of link up and load each game to interact with it as you go. You can't sort of, I guess there's no easy way to do it without cartridge swapping and, mucking around like that. But what it's going to enable you to do is actually use the app as a master Pokedex, and it'll actually be able to track and remember which of your games have which of your Pokemon in it. So you'll be able to, as soon as this update goes live, load up the bank, and if you're after a particular Pokemon that you've got, but you don't know which game it's in, it will actually tell you because it'll remember which one it actually interacted with that had it. So really cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Really handy way to sort of have like a master, index of absolutely everything that you've got. So that's pretty awesome.
A Pokédex.
A
even.
Pokédex, a Master National Pokédex, yeah. It's going to kind of become like the ultimate way to track everything you've got, which is going to be really handy. Now, the virtual console games as well, so the virtual console versions of Pokemon Red and Blue and Yellow, which you can buy via the online store, and you can actually access some of the older Pokemon in that and sort of work it with the Pokemon Bank. They're actually going to be able to use the bank service as of that January update as well, which is really cool. So that's going to provide the definitive access for absolutely every one of the older titles, so you can literally bring in just about any of the existing Pokemon into Sun and Moon. So finally unlocking all of that as of January. So pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah. There is no game like this that has this kind of feature to bring across your content from titles as old as that. I think that's a remarkable feat in itself. So, but obviously there's some hardware problems with some of the older games being on the old Game Boy Advance and things like that. So this is a neat solution to it. So,
I agree.
all right. So what's going on with Star Wars Battlefront, Ollie? There's some stuff coming up for that this week.
There's a new DLC announced. So they've got a Death Star DLC. They've launched the trailer. They've chatted about it. Some people have had early access to it. And it looks pretty spiffy. It's what everyone hopes Battlefront to be, essentially, where it's, here's a spaceship battle. You're flying around pew-pewing in X-Wings and TIE Fighters over Star Destroyers. And now you're landing in the Death Star and fighting in the Death Star. And now you're doing a
Cool.
trench run and stuff like that. So it's actually what Battlefront should be. Like, it was always the dream to have that
Yeah.
sort of fight, and now we have it.
It's exciting.
And, of course, naturally people are immediately bitching about saying this should have been in the game in the first place. Well, yes, you're right,
oh,
but be
dear.
grateful you have it at this point.
It does conjure
Yeah,
a
it was
question,
cool.
though, in terms of the narrative continuity. Like, if you're playing Battlefront and you're having battles on the Death Star at the same time as spaceship battles happening on the exterior to try and blow it up, how does that work theme-wise with troops being on the Death Star itself and on the very thing that you're trying to blow up? That kind of doesn't
I
make a lot
think
of
they
sense.
have to evac at a certain point, which is you doing your trench run.
Right, okay.
So they're like, we're getting these vital strategic assets out, like droids and shit.
Yeah.
And then we're legging it while you trench run.
Okay, interesting.
Space opera. Fuck physics, am I right?
Yeah, interesting.
That scene. Yeah.
So it seems a little bit more like the combo of the attack on the Star Killer base in the new Star Wars film of last year, it combined with the trench run at the same time.
Yeah, kind of ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's 5 additional maps, 2 new heroes, which are Chewbacca and Bosk, and then a few new weapons and star cards. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm intrigued.
Nice.
It'll let me boot up the game again, which is nice.
Yeah.
Sweet. Did you actually buy the season pass, or have you just sort of been picking and choosing
I
it
did,
each?
yes. I went whole hog,
Yeah.
which I kind of regret, but it happens.
Well, that being said, you have played all of the content that's been released, so I guess you've
I
got your
have.
money worth.
I've definitely gotten my money's worth content-wise.
That's good. Content-wise, and speaking of getting our money's worth, holy crap, GTA Online. Game just is the gift that
so
keeps on
exciting.
giving.
Yeah,
It's
it
pretty
really
tops.
is. Yeah.
So what are we getting next, Ollie? You were salivating over this just before we began recording.
We're getting a biker-themed update, so you can be a
Hooray!
bikey gang. Yeah, you can play
Huzzah!
Sons of Anarchy online.
So I have to ask this: have all of you guys actually watched Sons of Anarchy, or am I one of the
Yes.
only ones? You
Not
have?
the last season.
I
Okay,
have seen none of it.
you've
I
seen
was
none of it.
should
running
watch it.
behind, and I was told by a million people, "Don't watch the last season." So
Oh.
That
I
is
stopped.
fair and unfair.
Yeah, I would disagree with that. I think it's worth watching, for sure. Yeah, but
Maybe.
it's definitely not the best season, but it's good enough to warrant watching. But yeah. Anyway, so Sons of Anarchy. If you know anything about that show, and you sort of know the whole biker gang kind of culture that it demonstrates, fairly effectively, I would argue. Doing that kind of thing in GTA Online sounds like a pretty awesome fun time. So yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
you get bands of 8 players for it, with various ranks.
Yeah.
And of course then there's new weapons, there's new clothes, there's going to be new tattoos, new venues,
yeah.
and new missions to go with it.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I always did greatly enjoy all of the bike-related missions. I thought they were awesome fun. So the handling on a lot of the GTA
much
bikes
prefer
is
motor-
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. So I'm super excited about this one.
Yeah.
I just hope the GTA Online runs a bit better on my laptop, because the last time I tried to play it, I had significant lag issues, which I think is video card related. But I'm keen to jump back in. But GTA Online, seriously, the game that keeps on giving.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just so good.
It is, if anything, the one reason why I keep thinking we're not going to see another GTA for a long time, because online's just been so ridiculously successful. So, from their perspective, why would Rockstar make another main game when they are continuing to scratch everybody's itch with this, which is doing a fantastic
they like money.
job? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, who knows?
Am I able to join the gang on a push bike?
Yeah.
Let's do a jam. Let's start a bicycle club.
Oh, that was one thing that wasn't mentioned, actually.
Push
Is there
bike club.
going to be any hot-looking sidecars with tripod mounts on them? That would be awesome. Seriously.
That would
That'd
be
be funny.
horrifying.
Well, I mean, I don't know if that's a particularly common thing amongst American bikie gangs. I suspect it's probably not for, obvious
I
reasons.
imagine
of risk.
not,
But
because no one wants to ride bitch.
no. Well, would you want to ride bitch if you had a giant Gatling gun attached to it? Might
No.
be a little incentive. No, it's kind of funny. But no, that could be cool. I'm very looking forward to seeing how that plays out. And last thing on the list today, just a really tiny one, because it wouldn't be an episode of our show if we didn't at least have some Blizzard news. So Blizzard have just opened up a new feature for Battle.net users, which is basically anybody who plays any Blizzard game. And now, apparently, you can actually change your battle tag, which is basically your Battle.net username, if you have already, for the low price of $10. So the way battle tag changes work traditionally is that everyone's allowed one change for free if you screwed up your name and you want to change it. But now, for people who have otherwise been locked into a name and regret it and want to change it because you no longer want to be called, Daisy Cup 69,
XXX.
or Sephiroth XXX or something like that. Or Little Johnson, something. I don't know. You can change it. So, yeah, I don't know who's else.
Why would you make
ultimately.
your original gamer tag Little Johnson?
Little Johnson? Don't know. It sounds like a bad mistake.
For the lols, in case you need to apply for a job with your battle tag, and it needs to be more professional.
Who would apply for a job with their battle tag apart from Blizzard employees? That's a really interesting one.
That was the joke.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. Anyway.
Remember how Luke's an idiot? Yeah, I remember that too. It's okay.
No, I think
Oh
maybe.
no, my battle tag's called Luke. I need to change it. So embarrassed.
Jerk. All right. Anyway, so that's that. And that is our news of the week. So shall we move into this week's big topic? And it's a kind of massive one. We were going to kind of talk about this last week, but of course we had a bit of a sidebar and thought, let's talk about being sick. That's more fun. So
Because we were.
we were super sick. All right, anyway, so we're at that time of the year where things are sort of considerably ramping up to the silly season of game releases, and it's what a lot of people sort of know as the AAA season, where a lot of the games that we've been sort of announced as the big tentpole releases of the year are starting to come out, getting ready for that big Christmas sales period. So for the period of September through to November, we've got quite a bunch of big titles coming out. We thought we'd just talk about them, basically. So, what's coming, what do we know about it, and, what are we excited for, and, how do we think it's all going to play out, essentially. So, now, because we are partway through September already, in fact, we're about 2/3 of the way through, there have been a couple of things that have happened in September already. So we'll start there, and then we'll work our way through chronologically. How does that sound, team?
Sounds good.
Sure.
Sounds good. All right, so what is first off the list? Imogen, I think you got this one, don't you?
Yeah, so the first off the list is already out. It was released on September 13th on PC and Xbox, and it is Recore. We sort of mentioned this game in an episode previously because it was in the E3 announcement for Sony, and it looked really cool. Unfortunately, it's a action-adventure platform video game. It was developed by Concept and Armature Studios, and then published by Microsoft. So I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the first games that is part of the Play Anywhere suite
Think
that
so.
they announced as well. But don't quote me on that. And I also said it was part of the Sony announcement. It wasn't. It was part of the Microsoft announcement. So my not bad. You play as Jewel Adams. As per usual, everyone goes for a cryo sleep and wakes up and everything's gone to shit. So you will work with her core bots, and there's 3 different variations of that to sort of solve puzzles and work through the game. Unfortunately, the reception already has not been brilliant for the game. I'm still keen to check it out. A lot of people are saying that it has great potential, inverted commas, but it's a little bit
Ooh.
repetitive.
That's a damning sentence.
Which is very, which is very unfortunate for it. But I'm still keen to pick it up. I still think it looks really cool. I like the idea of it, but it's not getting a lot of great press at the moment.
So Ollie, what you're saying is that when my high school guidance counsellor told me that I had great potential, he was actually dissing me? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Sure, it wasn't your physics teacher.
Well, to be fair, it was probably quite a few different teachers. But anyway, so, let's see where they are now. I was super excited to pick this game up, and then I started reading the reviews, and I thought, I might give this one a pass. It looks really interesting. I think there's a lot of cool concepts that they've explored, but the overarching feedback seems to be that it's lacking a lot of polish. So, yeah.
Yeah, which is a shame.
The statue's cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The limited edition statue is
Actually,
pretty cool.
that's one good thing. If the game does suck nuts, I'll be able to pick up that statue for cheap.
That's true. A lot of people will buy it and regret it. Yeah.
So, thank you.
All right. Well, what else has just come out this week?
We have Destiny: Rise of Iron. So this is the latest DLC expansion for Destiny that seems to be quite, Nordic themed, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, that's the impression
That's
I
the
get.
way I describe it. It looks pretty cool. It finishes off one of the main story arcs, and it has a few extra bits and pieces. And I believe it reintroduced the Galahorn. I think you can get the Galahorn again with it. So everyone's fucking racing for that because that thing's broken as shit.
I think it might be one of the pre-order bonuses, actually. You get an iron
Of course it
Galahorn.
fucking is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that thing's silly. It's apparently quite short because it was only a small team at Bungie. It made it over 9 months, so it's relatively short for a DLC, but apparently so far people are saying that the missions are pretty tops. Apart from some minor server issues, or major server issues depending on who you ask, it has been relatively well received.
Nice. Now, Jam, I think you're probably the person aside from me that may have played the most Destiny as well. When was the last time you picked up the game? Did you actually play through any of the last expansions? Nope. Okay.
What did I last play? I got Galahorn, original Galahorn, and promptly stopped.
Okay, interesting.
Without intending to. I picked up one of the expansions, one of the early ones. Did it have Wolf in the title?
Wolves of Iron or something like that? Wolves of
Not
War?
Wolves of Iron.
No.
I can't remember.
I
It's
could
a
have
while
sworn they
ago.
used Iron already
House
in one of
of
the expansions.
Wolves?
House of
House
Wolves,
of
that's
Wolves.
it.
There
Yeah.
it is.
Oh,
There it is.
good
And this
job.
is like,
Yes.
this is what, easily a year ago or more.
So you never played the Taken Kin?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Did you play that, Luke?
No, I was actually tempted to
you
pick
guys
it
are
up
the
for
worst.
Xbox and play it there, but like the space that I got into with Destiny is that I played the original game on launch. I didn't do a lot of the online stuff because I wasn't a PlayStation Network subscriber, but the base stuff that I played, I really enjoyed. Like, I thought the game was solid. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I thought it was great. There was a lot of controversy when it was first released around it not sort of meeting expectations in terms of being like a shooter MMO, which I think a lot of people were kind of expecting initially. And it seems that since the point of release, they have done a lot of work to really sort of rise it up into a super quality game. And, a lot of the expansion content has gotten great feedback. But the other problem that I had is that I chose to play it on a platform that none of my friends were playing it on. So, that was a mistake, as it turns out. If I had been playing on Xbox, I probably would have played through Taken King and gone a bit further with it. But, look, I'd be tempted...
we had a pretty big group on Xbox playing. But then, we all picked up PC gaming, and I kind of I didn't go back to my Xbox very much.
Yeah. Oh, look, if it was on PC, I'd probably play a lot more of it, but I understand why it wouldn't be, because it would change the dynamics of the game quite a bit, I think. But, Destiny was solid fun for when I was playing it. It was super good. But, I don't know.
I still play it.
What's that, sorry?
Yeah?
I still play it. I don't even own the game, and I still play it.
Nice.
I have a mate who levels up characters, and so I can just go along to his place and just play raids.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
The main stories.
raid
It's
content
great.
is supposed to be really good.
It is.
Yep.
I recommend it.
Nice.
So get a mate who's like Luke, who owns multiple accounts of things, likes leveling up multiple things, and then you're great.
Yeah. Nice. All right, well, next on the list is one that I'm personally quite excited for, and that's coming out real soon, and that is Gears of War 4. So Gears 4 is coming out on the 7th of October on Xbox One, and slightly later than that on the 11th on PC, if we've got our dates right. So Gears 4, again, is going to be another one of those games that follows the new Xbox Play Anywhere service. So if you buy it on Xbox, you should be able to play the PC version as well, and it sort of saves all of your information between platforms. So it is pretty much one of the biggest exclusive titles for this year for Xbox One, amongst a fairly small list of exclusive titles that people actually give a shit about. So the Gears 4 story is going to be set 25 years after what happened in Gears 3. It's basically going to have a three main characters that it focuses on, and one of them is Marcus Phoenix, who's the main protagonist of the previous games. It's going to be his son, JD. And one of the big things that apparently is going to feature in the game is what's called Horde Mode, which is something that featured in the previous games. So Horde Mode 3.0, it's like a wave-based mode, and there's a bunch of different classes that you'll be able to use with it. So at launch, they're going to have snipers, engineers, soldiers, scouts, and heavy. So all of them will have their own different abilities and will be designed in a way to make sure that you can sort of do it as a team play thing. Gameplay footage so far looks super good. I'm pretty keen on this one. I am looking forward to a good chunky shooter to play on Xbox. Is anyone else going to join me?
Chunky is a good word for that game, actually. I agree.
Yeah.
Chunky is a very good word.
Well, the aesthetic of the weapons and everything looks very chunky.
Yes.
So
it
reminds
is just
me
everything is big.
Reminds me a bit of Doom, actually, in that respect.
Yes, actually. Yep. Especially the newer Doom.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So is anyone else going to Gears with me?
I don't know. I played
Maybe
some with
not.
2 and 3, but only because my brother picked them up. So maybe.
I have Gears 3, actually, which I have not played yet. I probably should play that before this
You
one
really
comes
should.
out.
Yeah, probably.
It's quite decent.
Should be good. And speaking of threes, we've also got coming out on the same date, we've got Mafia 3. So this is coming out on the PS4 and I believe on Xbox and PC as well. So Mafia, the Mafia series are generally sort of open world action adventure video games. And the way that I sort of look at this is it's almost like GTA-ish in terms of how the narrative works. So you're sort of running around and, doing mafia-esque things with a mafia-esque family and, the gameplay is set in third person. You're going to be basically working in control of a character called Lincoln Clay. He's a Vietnam War veteran, and he's on a quest to seek revenge for his friends who've been murdered by local mobs. So, set in 1968. It's like a reimagined version of New Orleans that you're going to be playing through. So, yeah. Seems kind of cool. It seems like the kind of game that, in terms of an action adventure, could have a lot of promise. And, who doesn't like the mob sort of setting too? A lot of very awesome movies.
Heathens.
Sort of set. Yeah, Heathens, yeah. That's it. Awesome movie setting. Why wouldn't it be a great game setting? I think, there's probably a lot of good stuff they could do with that one.
I need to play the second one, actually. I've only played the first one.
I have played none of them. So, yeah.
Really?
How
the first one was quite good.
What was the second one on? What console?
I don't know. That's why I have not played it. So.
Oh, okay. Cool. Fair enough. Do you
only played the
remember
first
how
one.
long ago it was out, or is that something you're not sure of?
A while. I will look it up now.
Fair enough. Cool.
2010. Jesus.
So, yeah, that looking...
all major platforms.
Okay, interesting. So, ladies, is that an offer you can't refuse, or is that something that you're not that keen on?
Yeah, I don't have a PS4, so
Okay, well, that's affiliate.
You have Steam.
true.
Probably depends on reviews. I'd probably wait and hear
Waiting here, yeah.
how people were, receiving it.
That is fair. Next on the list on the same date as well, we also have Paper Mario Color Splash, which is probably one of the only Wii U games coming out in the next few months that seems to be worth talking about. Paper Mario, if you've played the previous Paper Mario game, it's super cool. It's like a reimagining of the Mario platformer, usually with an extra key mechanic that revolves around, painting the environment. So you can basically splash colour on different things to interact with them, and the theme is around basically colour having been removed from the world, and you're trying to rescue it by painting it again and making it bright and colourful and fun and friendly. So, yeah. Otherwise, it's essentially a Mario game. You will do Mario things running around, platform style, just with the added sort of painting stuff. So, yeah. Seems kind of fun. There was a bit of a demo that was happening at E3 this year, if I'm not mistaken. If you're into those sorts of games, it seems like a good title for Wii U owners. But I think, in terms of Nintendo games in the near future, a lot of people are sort of waiting for Zelda and whatever else the NX might be offering. So it's probably not a huge profile game in the scheme of things. But something cool. So there you go. Mm-hmm. All right, and the other big thing happening immediately after that stuff is we've got the launch of PlayStation VR. So now we've talked a lot about VR in general, and PlayStation VR, of course, is probably a very hotly anticipated release for a lot of people looking to make the decision as to whether they're actually going to invest in VR as a technology. So we've had, the high profile challenges that Oculus have had so far. We've had, the HTC Vive, which seems to have done reasonably well, and they've got a decent catalogue of games that have sort of been dripping out as time's gone on. But both of those products have a relatively high price point when you factor into the computer that you need as well. Whereas PlayStation VR is going to be seen by many as the first sort of accessible consumer model that is packaged in a way that is going to be a lot more attainable for a lot of your average console gamers. So I think we're going to finally start to get a bit of a feel for whether this whole VR thing is going to have legs for the mass market or not. So, I mean, what are your thoughts, guys, based on the discussions we had on VR earlier in the year? Do you think this is poised on the lip of being a big thing, or is it still going to be a very tentative, sort of lukewarm response? How do you think it's going to play out at the moment?
I want it to be. I want it to be a thing.
I think it's going to be a thing. It's definitely the one that I would be more likely to get. So I feel like that's a good indicator for generally it seems more accessible. I don't know. I really hope that it does very well.
It's interesting. I think, for a lot of these VR platforms, and PlayStation is going to be no different, it's really going to come down to the catalogue of games. So we're getting to the space now where some of the major developers that have released big titles like Doom and Fallout 4 have adapted those games for VR, and we'll sort of see whether that is something that people want or not. Personally, I'm kind of erring on the side of, I really don't want to play a big tentpole release that's been out already just in VR. I would actually rather play stuff that is designed for VR and is, special to that platform. So, but we'll see. We'll see. And there's a lot of devs out there working on VR stuff at the moment, so it's going to take a little while for it all to come out. But when it starts hitting, I think we're going to see some interesting stuff. So,
actually, speaking of VR, could you imagine Battlefield 1 in VR?
Oh my God.
I would probably vomit.
Yeah, I would definitely vomit.
But isn't that a good example of a game that probably could do that, though? To really simulate the horrors of war?
Yes, horrors would be the right word.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Yeah, so that game is going to come out on October 18th, and I am going to buy and play the shit out of it, if the beta was anything to go by. That game is just solid fun. So buy it. That's my recommendation. Listen
to Olly's comments last episode on Battlefield 1. And based on your recommendation, will probably get that day one as well. So that sounds pretty awesome.
Speaking of games, yeah, exactly. Speaking of games that we will play the shit out of, the next one on the list is October 21st, and it is Civilization 6. Whee! And I cannot wait. I am so excited. So if you've never played video games before and never heard of Civ,
and if you hate life,
and you hate life and your friends, then you should pick up Civ, because you will yell at them after playing this with them for sure. Civ is a turn-based strategy game. This is obviously its 6th iteration. It's an absolute powerhouse of game series, and this one looks to be no different. Most notably amongst it, it is narrated by Sean Bean. Oh my God, as if I needed more excuses to play this game. So he's going to be your little advisor and help you through, and the E3 walkthrough of it looked amazing, and just the way that they've done. And there's not a lot to the mechanics that they can change. They've added some extra things in terms of diplomacy, and they've added an extra sort of race of people, and this edition, similar to others, has sort of famous figureheads of each of the civilizations that you can interact with. But you're basically going to build up your civilization, and you can choose which way you want to go. You can be diplomatic, you could start war with people, you could focus on trade, and you can win lots of different ways. So it's just one of those games that you will play for 8 hours and then go, oh my gosh, it's suddenly Monday again. Where did my weekend go?
God damn it.
I have heard,
God
though, that
damn it.
apparently there's a bunch of new mechanics in this one that allow you to speed up the play a little bit. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of sort of the wonders and things as a way that you can speed up the build and skip through things. And I don't know how that would work if you were in a multiplayer environment, which is the most exciting thing. I think Jam and I had a chat, and I think Jam was more likely to pick it up than either of you guys. But
Yes.
I will enjoy many hours of playing Civ 6 with Jam for sure.
no, don't worry. This is a day one purchase for me too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm super excited, and it happens to come out the day after I finish this block of study. So then I have 4 months
Yay.
off. Hooray! Finally, a game release that happens at the right time. So
See,
I'm
my only
super
problem
excited
is
about it.
you'll need 4 months to play it. Because goddamn Civ
Probably.
games go for a long time.
yeah, Christmas happens in the middle of there. PAX happens. So yeah, that might bite into a small amount of my time, but Civ 6 is awesome. So I need to get all the stuff done in World of Warcraft before I disappear down a different rabbit hole.
I'm really
Sneak to an
hoping.
adjacent rabbit hole.
I'm really hoping it ticks the boxes that the last couple of games like this I've played haven't really. Civilization Beyond Earth being one of them. But
I was about to say what would I have to do wrong, but then I had forgotten about Beyond
Yeah,
Earth. So
Beyond
there you
Earth
go.
was very average.
Yeah.
yeah, like it was okay. It wasn't Civ to my mind. And Stellaris as well is the other one that I'd sort of remember, and that was a great game, but the mid game just grinded to a halt in terms of my interest. So if they could fix a few things about that game, it would be a lot better, and it was still enjoyable. But it's no base Civ. Like the base Civ is awesome. I love it. So
Yeah. As long as they stick to the 4 X's, which is I'm going to forget these. Expand, exploit. I remember those ones. Exterminate. I've never done that. I've never done an exterminate win. And I think one of them is explore.
You're a terrible
you can just
Dalek.
like wander around.
you got all 4
Yeah.
of them. Well done. Nice.
Hooray! But yeah, so expanding and exploiting tends to be where I find my wins.
Good to
But
know.
those sneaky I mean,
Noted.
no.
I mean, what are you talking about?
So yeah, they're just the different ways that you can win in the game, and as long as they stick to that formula, and they've kept it on planet Earth this time, and they've gone back to the same old sort of different civilizations of people.
Gandhi?
that you
Gandhi
can-
gonna
yeah.
nuke you?
Yeah.
Gandhi gonna nuke
Honestly,
ya.
it would be great
Jesus.
to see Gandhi do an exterminate path. That would be very interesting to see how they would voice to that one. But we'll see.
I'm
Yeah,
imagining
super excited.
Fucking Gandhi Dalek now.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So,
best.
so
That
21st
sounds a bit
of
more like
October. check it out.
Zenyatta, Ollie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm basically imagining, but with like a Dalek gun coming out of his forehead.
Oh my.
It's a PC release, so it's a hardcore sort of PC gamer game. So
Yeah.
if you haven't heard it, maybe it's because you're more of a console person. But yeah, Civ, check it out. I will be playing, and it'll be sweet.
Here's one that you won't be playing. Dark Souls 3 expansion.
I
Ashes
will not.
of Arandil. So that looks like it's going to continue kicking people's dick in and being all things Dark Souls. So it's more of a frosty theme expansion. So it looks very wintry and very cold.
Ooh.
So it actually, what I originally thought it was a relatively small game expansion, turns out it was actually quite a decently sized one. So that comes out October 25th, so I'm going to have to clear my schedule for a little while to play that one, because that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So the
Yeah.
usual gamut of new weapons, new armors, new bits and pieces, but I'm more excited about new bosses and just new levels in general, so that's going to be quite cool, I think. Aha.
I hope
Terrible
to
smoke
have acquired Dark Souls 3 by this point, because that is
Have you
definitely...
actually played Are you making your way through Dark Souls 2? Was that something that you were doing?
No, I have still not played any of the Souls games. I've played a little bit of Bloodborne, despite the fact that I don't own it. But no, I've got them on the list to acquire, and I am going to get Dark Souls 3 first, I think, just because it's the most recent one and seems like as good a place as any to start. I know
Yeah.
enough about the background to kind of bridge
I was
those
about to
gaps.
say, if you don't give a shit about the story, which is very, very obscurely told throughout the games, just go straight to 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I'd just start with 3. It's the most polished one, so
That's what I'm thinking.
I can just go nuts with that.
And stream
I can
it so
watch
I
you
can
suffer.
laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be great. Just imagine you playing it, and it's just the best. something that is much less dickish is Titanfall 2 coming out on October 28th. So the beta for this had mixed receptions. Like, a lot of people like the gameplay. It's essentially all the problems with the first one, which is it's a cool concept, they do cool things, and then it's a bit repetitive after a while. So I'm intrigued to see how well the full game holds up. The fact that there's a campaign will help.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fact that there's a single
Yeah.
player campaign instantly makes me more interested in this than I was in the last one. Yep.
And yeah, people are saying the exact same things. Like, there's cool mechanics, there's cool titans, there's cool maps. Why does it feel meh after a little while? So yeah, hopefully they fix that. Like, I don't know how you fix that, but I think it's just too repetitive. Like, the focus is too narrow. They do their focus very well, but it's too narrow, I find. But that's just me.
Well, it seems like they're taking on the feedback from the early testing quite well as well, and willing to make wholesale changes if necessary to fix the issues that people are reporting. So
That's because they want game sales.
yeah. Well, I mean, you say that, but not every developer is so keen to respond to feedback if they're particularly along in the development cycles. There's some things that they're unwilling to change and compromise on if it's core values of what they see, that it forms the crux of gameplay. But seems like a lot of stuff is still on the table with this one, so it could be interesting.
Also
That's
out
fair.
on October 28th, this is something my sister's going to be very keen on, Skyrim Special Edition. So the remastered edition of Skyrim comes to PS4, Xbox One and PC. So that's exciting. It's
Fuck
going to
me.
be so pretty.
This is another day one purchase for me. God damn, this is going to be a really
Yeah?
busy time of year. Yeah.
I want to know how punished you're going to get for killing the chickens still, because it's seriously one of my
Murdered.
strongest memories still.
Horribly murdered.
I've been
Everyone
trained well
chicken.
in Zelda games to not do that, so yeah, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Did you guys
I
ever
still
see the
remember-
cartoon
yeah.
of that?
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Skyrim Schmirim. It's the best. It's my
What a great landing
favorite.
spot.
Chicken.
Fuck.
I still
hell.
remember the first time I accidentally killed a chicken in that game.
Yeah.
I was like,
And
you're
what's
just like-
happening? Why am I dead?
Yep.
Why are the guns
Vicious.
murdering me? That was our prize hen.
Oh, God.
Chicken, no.
So
no.
one of the neat things is if you own all of the DLC. Wait, where did I read that? Maybe I'm mistaken. I thought I read that if you own all this DLC that you can upgrade for free.
Ooh.
Or is that
Really?
wrong?
That sounds cool.
So you're talking about PC upgrade for free as opposed to console
You
upgrade?
know what? I'm probably wrong.
Okay,
Scratch
cool.
that.
Let's put a
Spurious
pin in
facts
it
with
and
Jamie.
yeah.
Fuck it, go with it. Just say it. That's the way it is. Yes, you get it free if you have all the DLC from Jamie. Boom.
No, wait.
James
If you
has
own the
confidence.
PC version of Skyrim and all of its add-ons on Steam, you'll get a free upgrade to Skyrim Special Edition when it releases later this year. There you go. Bethesda has
Right.
announced.
PC
Same
Master
applies
Race.
to anyone who owns Skyrim Legendary Edition on Steam. So that's pretty fantastic because, I mean, if you own all of those, it's because you love the game, you adore the game, and you want to spend many, many more hours in the game. So, yay. That's pretty great. Very exciting.
I think it's going to look spectacular.
Yeah.
I've never played Skyrim, so this is a perfect. I am the audience for this
Luke.
remaster.
Oh, you're the perfect audience for it then, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Such a
I mean,
peasant,
I've played
Luke.
so much of the game, so I just don't know that I could justify buying it remastered and, buy a PS4.
Well, the reason why I
Guess I could play on
actively avoided
Xbox,
it for
but-
so long is because I knew it was such a massive game, and that unless I had time to properly dedicate it to it, I probably shouldn't pain myself. But I'm gonna do that anyway because I know how good it's supposed to be.
Skyrim is the only reason that my PS3 is still plugged in. So.
Oh wow!
I'm going to be honest,
Poor
I
thing.
reckon I will pick this up.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I put a lot of hours into Skyrim and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So I may actually pick this up.
Yeah,
and
I-
leaning more towards the probably will.
I have
I'm
too
just
many other
looking at the-
sandbox games I haven't finished.
Yeah, exactly. I've got Fallout 4 that's sitting on my desk right now and
Yeah.
staring at me, and I've done basically nothing
Oh,
in that.
fuck, I need more
And
DLC for that as well.
Yeah, and Civ is released
Damn it.
7 days beforehand, so there's just no way I'm picking up Skyrim in that time.
Yeah, it might come down to a timing thing. That's a good point. We'll see.
Got a lot of gaming to do.
And the first release for November this year that's notable is the new Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare.
Call of Duty.
November 4th. It looks...
Read
they look
Lose
like
it to Battlefield 1.
They look like extreme sports soldiers. Like,
That's not a
just
bad
the-
way of putting it,
It's
the
actually.
way
Games
they
War.
kitted out, it's
Yeah.
just...
Yeah.
It's a bit gimmicky looking to me.
Oh, I see
I'm
what you mean. Okay,
I'm sure
yep,
it'll be
yep.
fun for fans.
Starship Troopers.
It's Call of Duty. It's the next Call of Duty. They've got bells and whistles and stuff, but it's still Call of Duty. It's got zombies. People are going to like it if they like Call of Duty. So
Yeah, Call of Duty. All they have to do to sell games is just put the Call of Duty at the beginning of another sentence, and they'll be fine.
what are they going to? What's the acronym going to be though? Is it like CODIL?
Yeah.
Kadoo.
Kadoosh.
Kadoo.
Kadoo!
Yeah.
Cod Imp. No.
No.
Cod Aff.
Ugh.
Codinf. Yeah, I think Codinf is probably what people are going to go with. Yeah.
Codinf sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, look, I'm
You heard it first
excited
here.
for this game. I think the footage that we've seen so
TM.
far still looks cool. If it came down to a choice between Battlefield 1 and this, I would obviously go with Battlefield 1 at this point. But the fact is, it probably won't come down to a choice between one or the other. I can play both. So
Don't be
How?
reasonable.
When do you have
Okay?
time?
It's just not on.
I'll make
That's
time.
the slate.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
Yeah. He sleeps when he's dead. That's how he makes time.
So it's pretty cool. Well, the other big sort of hardware release that we've got hitting around that time as well is we've, of course, got the PlayStation 4 Pro, which is just freshly announced as of last week. 2 weeks now, I guess it's been probably closer to. So
Yeah,
we
close
talked
enough.
about that last episode. It is the new, beefier PlayStation. It is probably going to be a hot ticket item for people who are picking up PlayStation for the first time. If you're not going to do what Imogen is probably going to do and go for a discount on the previous model, because a lot of those will go on sale. But anyone
Hell, I'll
who's...
even go refurbish PS4.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Save a whole bunch of cash, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, if you're looking at getting into the VR side of things, then that might be an attractive option for you too, just to make sure you've got the best possible vehicle for that you can possibly work with. So there you go. PS4 Pro. I'm
I
not
do
going
think
to
it's interesting that the release is so separate, like by a whole month. They really are trying
Yeah.
to put a dot point on you do not need the new PS4 to play VR. That they're putting a real point on that.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It seems, yeah.
Seems
Yeah,
like
it's
it.
a bit interesting in that regards, but they probably mean well.
Our prediction was that it would come out as a package, so there would be like a PS4 and a VR sort of mega package thing. So we'll wait and see. Maybe still
this
time.
will let them gauge reception so that they can determine how they need to package the Pro.
Very true, Jamie. They should give you a job in marketing.
Oh, yes. And all the knowledges.
All them knowledges. So yeah, and then on the November 11th on PC, PS4, and the Xbone is a game This is one of the few games I'm genuinely excited for. Like, I do not get excited over very many games. Dishonored 2. So I loved the shit out of Dishonored 1. Like, it was actually brilliant. I loved it, and I loved the DLC for it, and I will just say play it. It's, for those of you that don't know the Dishonored series, it is steampunk assassins with Lovecraftian themes, and it is glorious. So that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say, because that should be enough recommendation, because if you've ever listened to me talk about any games, you'll know I never get super excited about it.
Yep.
Unless they are really fucking good.
The original Dishonored is on my Steam wishlist at the moment, so I hope
It's actually a relatively short game.
Okay.
Play it.
All right.
Yeah,
How
see,
would you
that's-
define short? How short?
Not in the triple digits for hours.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
I remember it ending sooner than I imagined.
Not in
and
100 hours. It's not a 100-hour game. Sorry.
Yeah. And it also didn't, my choices didn't seem to have the impact that I expected.
Oh, they do. They
No,
really do.
they didn't.
Oh,
in
expected. Sorry. My bad. Yeah.
Expected. So based
They
on some
definitely
of
had
the hype beforehand, it sounded like the world was going to change around you based on your... Oh, maybe I'm not remembering it quite accurately, but I still enjoyed it. I never replayed it, so this is like a bit... it's
So
kind of a maybe.
There's a very
I reckon
large
you'll get
branching
about 20
narrative,
hours.
is there?
No, it's relatively linear,
Okay.
but your choices matter, and they actually do have an effect.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, 20-ish hours, I would say.
All right.
And then you can add the DLC to that. So,
Cool.
and that is, again, very worthwhile playing because it fleshes out and humanizes one of the main antagonists, which is cool.
And another sequel's coming out shortly after, Watch Dogs 2. Now, I played the first Watch Dogs. I played quite a bit of it. I I enjoyed free roaming in that city more than following the storyline. So I'm hopeful that this one has a better focus on the story and the character development. It's set in San Francisco, and you're a hacker who's connected to DedSec, the hacker group called Marcus. It looks nice. It's got, the hacking gimmicks that were cool from the first one. I'm not sure if I'm going to wait and see what the reception's like or how the reviews go to start with before I pick it up. Even though I enjoyed the first one, again, it didn't match my expectations. It didn't match a lot of people's expectations.
I genuinely
Definitely
feel
match mine.
that the first Watch Dogs had some issues, but I think the biggest thing that it suffered from on launch is being compared to GTA 5. So it got a real bum rap because of how close those games were launched together, and the fact that Watch Dogs did a lot of things that were similar to GTA, but quite clearly nowhere near as good. And if it wasn't for that comparison, it might have been looked at a little bit more favourably by some people, even though there was
That is
some
true.
issues. Yeah.
Because,
So-
Rockstar have just perfected their model
Exactly.
over time, and they're still perfecting it. They're light years ahead. The other thing in my mind that was unfortunate is I was also comparing it to Sleeping Dogs when I played it,
yes.
which has
Yep.
fantastic characters and storyline, truly superb. I adore that game. And I just remember for the briefest heartbeat when I saw Watch Dogs 2 was announced, when I saw that headline, I thought, oh, Sleeping Dogs 2? That's where my brain went to that game, and then I was a bit disappointed. But, it looks really lovely. It'll just be interesting, to see how they stand out from some of the other truly exceptional sandbox games that are out there.
We'll see. Hopefully they've learned from the feedback on the last one. All right, so next on the list is a release that we've talked about quite a bit on the show in Spits and Spurts, and
Just
that,
a
of
little bit.
course, is for the 3DS. We have Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon hitting on the 11th of November. This is a pretty massively anticipated release by a lot of people out there because there are more Pokemon fans in the world now than there have been for a very long time. So, yes, we will see. I think that Nintendo have probably set themselves up to have a fairly massive freaking success with this one, with all of the poker hype and the marketing behind Sun and Moon. But they've been dribbling out a bit of information about this title for a while now, and there's some pretty interesting stuff that has been leaked in terms of content for the game. And the thing that probably intrigues me the most is it seems that this one is going to be the biggest departure from the standards of the main Pokemon games that we've seen yet. So, every main title has very, very similar themes and story and mechanics, and, they tend to iterate on each other just a little bit each time. This one seems like there's a whole bunch of new stuff. So, very interested to see how it goes. I'm going to be picking it up on launch. My son will be picking it up on launch, and that is going to be the coolest part of the experience for me, I think, is that I'll be able to play it with him. So really, really looking forward to that. That's going to be awesome fun.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, he's just at the age now where he can start to enjoy that kind of thing properly. He's been playing the crap out of Animal Crossing lately, actually. So I know that he's ready for this level of gaming now. It's going to be very interesting. I think he's going to be twisting my ear regularly to trade him what he wants, and I'll have to teach him that he needs to have things that I want in return. So there's going to be that give and take. We'll see.
It's a
Commerce.
lesson on supply and demand, son.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
nice.
He's going to get a rude awakening with how the world works. So, yeah, it's going to be hilarious. And the other one, which is a very anticipated title by many, on the 29th of November on PS4 and Xbox One, not coming to PC, sadly. Well, not initially anyway. It might make it there at some point in the future, like some of the other titles have. We have Final Fantasy 15. This one's been gestating for a long, long time. It's been a while between releases with Final Fantasy franchise. And this is set to be the biggest Final Fantasy release ever. And the stuff that we've seen so far is looking really, really cool. Different sort of take on the story. It looks like a bit of a boy band kind of vibe with four buddies sort of, traipsing around in a vehicle, sort of visiting places around the world, and sort of, perching the narrative on the shoulders of that basis. But the combat's all there. The big sort of, ornate bosses are there. It very much does look and feel Final Fantasy from what we've seen. And there's been a huge amount of extra stuff that's been built to support the narrative of this one. They're doing movies. They're doing... YouTube series, comics, all sorts of stuff. So, yeah. It's looking pretty cool. Kind of excited for it, I've got to say. And, again, that's going to be another 100+ hour game. So, yep. Just add that to the list.
Gosh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Crazy amounts of stuff. So, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's not venturing into December. That's kind of just the next 3 months. So, we can put a bow on it there. That's probably the bulk of what we're looking forward to for the rest of the year, though, to be honest. There's a couple of things that have been pushed into December and a couple of things that probably have not entirely locked into their dates yet. But, of everything we've just discussed, what are you guys personally most excited for? If you have to pick sort of maybe a couple that you would put on top of the list of what you're really hanging out for. Jam, you want to start with you? What are you most looking forward to?
Out of this list, I think Battlefield 1 and Civ 6.
Cool.
That'd have to be my two. The rest are going to be sort of wait and see, but I honestly believe I'll be picking those two up quite promptly.
Yeah, both within a week of each other. Well, 3 days of each other, in fact.
I know. That's dangerous.
That's going to be awesome. Imogen, what about you? I'm guessing Civ is going to be one of them.
Yeah, Civ is definitely one of them. And there's one other thing that I'm really looking forward to in, I think it's around the 20th of November, 19th or 20th of November, which isn't on this list, which is the Super Nintendo limited edition with the loaded 150 games.
Of course.
So those are two things that I'll be picking up before the end of the year, for sure. Everything else will depend on, reviews and what you guys are playing, really. As long as I've got WoW and GTA Online keeps pumping out stuff, just Civ 6 has been something I've been waiting with for a while. So
Yeah.
super keen on that one.
Nice. So, Ollie, can I guess what yours are? Can I take a stab?
Sure, you can probably guess already.
I'm going to guess Battlefield and Dishonored.
Yep.
Nailed it.
Shocking twist.
Nice. So, Battlefield we already know all about. What elevates Dishonored on top of the pile for you?
I love Lovecraft, like Eldritch Horror style thing, and I love British steampunk, and they mash the two together with actually good gameplay that's interesting and actual varied gameplay.
Yeah.
So, and you can actually do a true pacifist run.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yep. You can do a complete pacifist run and not kill a single thing in that game.
Wow.
Did not realise that was a possibility. That's kind of cool. All right, well, I'll return the favour, Ollie. You can try and pick what my two are. What do you think?
Yeah, I got nothing.
Oh, really?
Pokemon Sun
No,
and
it's
Moon
obviously Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yep.
and Gears of War.
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know, Gears of War or Civ 6. He did sound very keen on Civ 6.
Look, I'm going to say it's
Paper
actually
Mario.
Pokemon Sun
Skyrim.
and Moon. And if I'm being honest, it's actually something that's not on the list, which is there will be, at some point in the next few months, the final Hearthstone expansion for the year will be announced.
Yeah, but that's not on the list.
No,
You
I
can't
know.
pick
Okay,
it if it's
all
not
right.
on the
So
list.
I won't go with that 'cause I
Cheating.
don't know what it
Cheated
is
like
yet.
Imogen.
Don't cheat.
Sorry.
Of
Sorry.
everything
Well,
else,
mine wasn't a game.
He sets the rules and then breaks them.
It's actually of everything else, probably Battlefield 1, if I'm being honest. So I'm
Yeah.
super
I've sold you
excited
that
for
much,
game.
have I?
You've sold me that much. Yeah, I'm very keen.
Jesus.
Very, very keen.
You're such a skeptic, Ollie, that when you're really excited about something, you feel like it must be very good.
I also know that
that's
my
fair.
tastes and Ollie's tastes are usually fairly compatible in a one-way
True.
direction. Like if he likes stuff, I generally like it. Not necessarily the other way around. But yeah, like I'm pretty confident. Like I'm super excited for Civ 2, don't get me wrong. Really excited for Skyrim, really excited for Final Fantasy. But I think that, Battlefield 1 for me, it's also going to be that play experience with you guys if you are playing also. And I think doing it with people we know is going to be the thing that tips it over the edge. So yeah, looks awesome. And it looks different. Looks like a style of FPS that I've maybe not played before. So yeah, it's going to be good fun. Be cool. So everyone else can let us know what you're keen on playing. So if there's anything on that list that you're super jazzed about and you're hyped for, you can let us know by sending us an email, mail@partyloader.com. You can let us know via Twitter or by Facebook. So on Twitter, we are @partyloadedshow. Facebook, you can find us at facebook.com/partyloaded. And let us know what you're jazzed for. Let us know why. If there's something that is on top of that list that you are absolutely frothing at the loins for, then we want to hear about it. The game, not the
Wow,
frothing bit.
dude.
So, yeah. Sorry, been watching too much Archload.
See you, Dr. Luke.
So, yeah.
If your loins froth,
Definitely shouldn't froth.
take
yeah.
some medicine. Take some medicine.
Yeah.
Penicillin stat.
Penicillin. Yeah. If I'm frothing at the loins, I think penicillin's the least of my problems, but yeah. So, there you go.
We'll just
and we've
put you down, it's
we've got
alright.
other stuff in that period to be super excited about, namely PAX, which we're probably more excited than ever. Hype has reached peak levels this week, that's for sure.
Oh my gosh, so excited.
Yep. It's going to be cool. And, we've got lots of other fun stuff to do in the meantime as well. Gaming is just the tip of the iceberg, and it's going to be a fun slide down the other side. It's going to be great. So, all right, well, let's wrap up the evening there. We've talked a whole bunch of good gaming content, and I'm keen to jump off and do a whole bunch of good gaming content. And would invite you all to join me. So, what's everyone doing this week? Just quick wrap around the table. Anyone got anything exciting?
Amello?
Armello?
Yeah, I
We've
was
got
going to
some
say
new Amello bits and pieces to play with.
the new DLC Usurpers was my birthday present from Jam.
Ooh.
And so we played a little bit of that, but I'm really keen to get to know the new characters. So I have no doubt Jam and I will be playing oodles of time in that game. So,
Ollie, play with us and I'll buy you the content.
yeah, join our Steam community, guys, and you'll see when Jam and I are playing, I think. And you can maybe view it or add us on Steam, and maybe you can join us for a game one time.
Well, not to be left behind, I shall go and acquire said content and join you. Sounds like a good plan.
I won't. I'll be antisocial.
Ah.
Of course you
No,
will.
I actually might.
Either that or you'll be running around with your tackle out, clobbing people to death in Rust.
Yep.
Just
That
the
sounds-
regular Wednesday.
Yep.
I mean, who doesn't do that, right?
Yeah,
Awesome.
Beatos.
so true.
All right, well, that's an episode. We'll see you next week, everybody. Good night.
Bye.
The Party Loaded podcast is a Channel Endgame production. For this and more great gaming content, bookmark channelendgame.com.